And now for something completely different. This is the weirdest mead we've ever made. Okay, can't believe we're doing this. But to start off with, I need my pitcher because I need to measure out water.
Not just any water. No, water that was used to rehydrate shiitake mushrooms.
Yep, this was 12 dried shiitake mushrooms that I just cut in half and put in water. Now, I could just use the mushrooms, but why just use the mushrooms when I can use the mushroom water too? And I want to measure it, so that's why I'm dumping it off. We're gonna make a 1 gallon batch. So that means right now we have about 20 ounces of mushroom tea. That's what I'm calling it.
So we filled our pitcher to 1 US gallon with hot water, so that way it'll work with the rest of our ingredients. And we're just gonna set this to the side.
Right, because this is just gonna be the water addition.
We're setting that to the side.
I'm moving it to get the bucket out of the way, so I had a place to put that on the side. Next up is honey. Believe it or not, it's a mead. Now, a little story behind this. By the way, we're using 3 pounds. This is just Kirkland Wildflower Honey, nothing fancy, but it's a good quality honey. This has actually been requested multiple times. People wanted mushroom mead. They wanted tomato wine is another one, which we're gonna work on that too. And I've always said, nope, I don't wanna do that. And then I realized, you know what?
There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
Even mushroom mead.
My understanding is that this is for cooking. And one of our admins, Paul, actually makes this. Now, I should have talked to him ahead of time, but I didn't because I wanted to come up with my own recipe and screw it up my own way. That way I wasn't using someone else's recipe for something that I thought was really weird. And then if we didn't like it, it reflects on them. I wanted it to reflect on me alone. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So I went and looked around on the internet and I actually found quite a few recipes for it, which was kind of disturbing. But it's a thing. So here we have mushroom mead. 3 pounds of honey should net us somewhere in the 13 or so percent ABV range. But with the yeast choice that we're using, it's probably going to go to about 12%. That way it leaves it with a little bit of residual sweetness, which I'm not sure if that's good or bad yet on something like this. This is for cooking, but I don't know. I still like it to be a little bit sweet. So there we are. Oops. Okay, so honey's in, no longer need the scale. And now we're gonna add our water. You don't need to be prissy with it. You can splash a little, just not on me. You wanna get some oxygen in there because that helps the colony to form during the lag phase. Yeast, that is, need the oxygen in the beginning. We actually have an entire podcast on when and when not to add oxygen to your brew. I still have to admit, it feels kind of weird to be putting these things into a mead. I will say that a lot. I'm sorry.
I would also like to state for the record that I had zero influence in this recipe.
Other than you approved it happening. That's it. Because I said, you know what, let's just do it, mushroom mead. Because somebody said it the other day and I was like, you know what, fine, I'll just make it. She's actually kind of talked me into doing something with pumpkin too. If you watch the show for any length of time, you know, I'm not a fan of the pumpkin. I like it better than I like grapefruit though. All right, our honey is mixed. Warm water does the trick. And when I say warm, it was like, you know, body temperature, blood temperature. Okay, here's where it starts to get weird. These mushrooms, they've just been soaking in water, or they were, I poured the water out, for like 3 or 4 hours, okay? Only needs about 2 hours, but I'm putting them right in here too. This is painful. It just feels so wrong. Okay, mushrooms are in. Then comes the next ingredient that I thought was even more weird than the mushrooms. Garlic. About 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Many people were putting this into it, so we did it too. Because why not? I mean, if we're doing mushrooms already, we might as well put garlic in with it too, you know? Okay, now I do want to mix this around because the garlic will probably just sit on top and I'd like it to fall so that we don't end up with any mold issues or things like that. So mix that together. The mushrooms are probably always going to float. I don't think they're ever going to fall. Okay, now I want to take a gravity reading. I'm going to use a hydrometer and graduated cylinder and the fanciest thing ever for taking a sample. That is the turkey baster. Looks like 1.092. 1.092. It's still going to make like 12% alcohol, which is still right around the tolerance for the yeast that we're going to be using. And the yeast we're going to be using is Fleischmann's bread yeast. Because A, it works pretty darn well for things like this. And I figure going with the food theme, mushrooms, garlic, bread yeast. Also, I don't really want to waste more expensive yeast on this just in case it's horrible. So 1 teaspoon sprinkled around, put our lid on. Because we're using a plastic bucket, I want to use the Haas, that is the hammer of superior sealing. Give it a good beating. The beatings will continue until the seal improves. That's a t-shirt right there with a picture of the Haas on it. That's perfect. I love that. And that would confuse the heck out of people.
All right, are you done with your destruction?
I'm done hussing. I'm just knocking everyone. What?
Whoa. Settle down, Beavis.
All right.
All right. So at this point, our must is done. We will have to give this a swirl.
Yep. Otherwise,
on a
it has a
regular
potential
basis.
for mold growth because of the mushrooms.
Now, what is our estimated time frame for this? Is it same
Same
with
as usual.
fruit? So
Yeah.
3 weeks?
Well, we have to wait for the fermentation to stop, which is probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
But once that's done, I want to get it off the mushrooms and the garlic as soon as possible. It's just weird. I'm so sorry. Anyway, see you in a couple of weeks. Okay, it's been 2 weeks on this now. So
this cool thing happens between Brian and I. Brian comes up with an idea, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And I don't really think about it that much because in most cases, Brian's ideas are pretty cool. However, fermenting garlic and mushrooms in our studio. Oh, it's not a good idea.
it made it stink really bad in here.
So vile.
This smells so bad. But it looks normal. If mushrooms and garlic in a ferment is what you're after, it looks perfectly normal. I don't see any mold. I have been swirling this every day to keep it moist. Wow, it really does have a strong smell. It smells of garlic.
Yeah, and,
Like-
and that's how I'm keeping things in check here because I really like garlic, and that smells really wrongity wrong, and I just keep telling myself in my head, it's just garlic, it's just garlic, it's just
Yeah.
garlic, it's just garlic. But oh, that is a smell nobody needs to be smelling. Oh,
Well, you want the good news or the bad news?
oh,
I think it's done.
yay! What does it mean? It means we wait a week and check it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me make sure, though. It's literally at 0.998. All right, I'm going to pour this back in so we can put the lid back on. It's very pungent. I think it's going to be great for cooking with, though.
Everybody who's made mushroom things have assured us that it is fantastic.
We told Paul about this, and he said, okay, I've never done it with garlic. Hey, got to try new things.
Are you housing?
Time for the Haas. You know what this is. If you don't, just rewind the video a little bit. I need to do something, though. If this finishes where it is, this is starting at 1.092 minus 0.998 is 94 points times 131.25. It's 12.3% ABV. So apparently bread yeast likes garlic and mushrooms.
It is enjoying the stank.
Yeah.
I'm happy somebody is.
Yeah.
Oh, man, is that a potent odor?
But I can see using this for cooking and it being amazing. Anyway, it's going to go back for a week to check it again just to make sure it's done, and we'll see you then. It's been one more week, and, well, don't envy us right now. We have to open this thing and take another reading on it. It stunk up the studio for like a
At least our
day
whole
afterwards.
studio isn't stinking right now, but that may change.
It's quite pungent. It really is. But looking in there, everything looks good. I did give this a swirl every day for, the last week. Other than the last maybe 2 days, just because I knew we were going to be racking it. It's actually starting to clear. That's pretty amazing. No mold, no eyeballs or teeth or hair or anything looking at us that we don't want. I would normally do the olfactory test, but you don't have to even get that close. You can smell it. It's got a strong smell. Now,
It's got a powerful funk.
when we rack this, there's garlic pieces in there. Do we want to use the rumble jar?
Ah, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Let's
go
take a gravity reading first.
Oh yeah, gravity reading.
Last time we took a gravity reading, it was 0.998, so more than likely it's still there. But let's check just because.
Why not? We have the technology. Let's use it. It is beautifully clear. I mean, really. This thing is only what's that? 17 and 6 days, 23 days old. So it's 3 weeks, 2 days old right now. I can't say if it smells good for that time period though. 0.994. So it went down by 4 more points. Using the calculator teacher said I would never have handy, let's figure out how much alcohol this has. Started at 1.092, went to 0.994. That's 98 points of gravity used up, times 131.25. That is 12.8% alcohol. I'm going to call it 12.5 just because I like nice round numbers. That's insane.
That is insane.
Anyway, so I'm going to get the rumble jar. I'm going to rack this. First step to racking is your sample goes into your destination, because if you just pour it right back into the fermenter, it's just going to stir everything up. Nobody wants that today. That is amazingly clear.
Yeah.
If only it tasted good. I'm just assuming it probably doesn't. I'm guessing. Okay, to rack with a rumble jar though, I'm just going to take my auto siphon, drop it right in there, and I'm still going to go about halfway down, because what that'll do is it's a filter. You know, it'll stop the garlic and stuff like that from getting in, but I can still get everything out. We go halfway down, get it started, and then I can drop all the way down into the mushrooms and garlic goop at the bottom here. Yeah. This is probably the weirdest mead we've ever made. This is the weirdest mead we've ever made, without a doubt. Okay, so we racked it. It's sitting in a good spot. We have an airlock and a lid on it. We're going to let this sit for a week, and then we're gonna have to taste it. I'm not looking forward to that. But there was some talk. We were talking about maybe cold crashing it, because I thought that maybe drinking it cold might be better. But you know what? It's going to be a cooking wine. Yeah. So I think just tasting it as it is fine. It's fine. Really, it's fine. So see you in a week. Okay. It's almost the time that we've been putting off and the time that you've all been waiting for. So we're just going to put it off a little bit longer and take a pH reading.
So I have been pushing taking a pH reading because
there's garlic in it.
There's garlic in it, and there's this fun little thing called botulism, and
it's not necessarily a guarantee.
Nope, it's not.
This is in the 3.5 to 4.0 pH range.
It just needs to be under 4.
Under 4.
We're under 4, so.
We're under 4. So it's safe. That's what she was concerned with.
But it stinks like something I don't want to drink.
And yeah, we're using shot glasses, and I didn't put much in them. You know why? I don't want to.
I'm so not happy about this right now.
All right.
It's clear.
I did not. Yeah. We did not pasteurize this, nor did we cold crash this, because I didn't feel any need to. It's dry. Okay, so we didn't have to pasteurize it. It's more or less clear. It's not unattractive looking. Notice how far I'm holding it from my nose. Okay, on the smell. I smell garlic, like almost a roasted garlic. The mushroom adds an earthiness, but I can't say that I get mushroom necessarily. The garlic is strong with this one. I will say that.
I feel like I need a chaser or something.
Got the Sprite right there.
Oh.
Just grab a bottle of Sprite.
Here's my chaser.
All right.
Today's episode brought to you by Sprite. No, I'm joking.
No, it's not.
I'm joking.
No, it's not. Not a sponsor.
I wish, but no.
I don't.
No,
I don't want sponsors like that.
We don't want to jump through the corporate hoops.
Okay. I'm trying to be objective here because I know this is going to be used for cooking. So because I know that, it's not so objectionable to me. It does not smell great, don't get me wrong, but for cooking with. Imagine if I was making some sort of a pasta dish or something and I put some of this into the sauce. To me, I think it's going to elevate it, make such
I feel like this could be a meat tenderizer.
It could.
I don't know if it has
alcohol could do that.
The right proteins or enzymes or whatever. I think
it's a marinade. Maybe not a tenderizer. Marinade. All right. We just got to do it. You ready?
Oh my gosh.
Just do it. It smells far worse than it tastes.
It does.
On the taste, it's actually kind of light. It's like a white wine almost.
Yeah.
A little bit of garlic, but not overly so. It's actually, dare I say, almost pleasant.
And then the very end, I'm getting the earthiness of the mushroom.
The mushroom comes through. It's gonna be wonderful to cook with.
Just don't smell it.
Yeah, I don't think I want to put a number on this though.
Make sure you have all the vents on, all the windows open.
Yeah. We're not going to put a number on it though, because this is not meant for drinking. This is meant for cooking. If I had to just throw out a number as something to add as a food additive, I'm going to say this is in like the 7-ish range, 6 to 7 maybe. It's really not as bad as I thought. I was expecting horrible. As a matter of fact, you know what?
I was concerned that we might need a bucket.
I only had like half a shot, so I want to give this a real shot.
Pleasantly, shockingly surprised. I'm pretty sure my breath is probably horrid right now.
Wow, that is.
But it's like,
honestly, even to drink it, it's like a 5.
Yeah.
As a drinking meat, it's like a 5. It's fine. I wouldn't look for it, but it's fine. For cooking with though, I think this is fantastic. I'm blown away. We were both really dreading this. We didn't want to do it. I was expecting some nasty faces. I didn't even get goosebumps. Nothing.
Yeah, there's some things that we cook
dragon breath, though.
In a broth type scenario.
This would be
like
perfect.
Rice. You can use this as a flavor enhancement, and I think it would be lovely. Yeah,
I'm very pleasantly surprised, shocked. Actually,
I don't even need you, Sprite. I'm sorry.
She didn't even need the chaser.
I'm
so
good.
Sorry to disappoint everybody. We didn't throw up. We didn't make nasty faces. It stayed down. I even went back for more.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Oh, Paul knew.
Paul knew.
Paul knew.
Paul didn't do garlic though.
No.
Paul made a face when I said garlic mushroom.
Yeah.
Honestly, not half bad.
Yeah.
Not great, but not half bad.
I think if I were to make it again, I would leave the garlic out.
I'd like to do a mushroom sometime.
So stinky.
Yeah. It really does stink.
Stinky.
But anyway, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.